the online right being prominent online. And what do I say that we do about that? I say that we just... Well, I hate to say it. I really do. I hate to say it, but I was right. I told you so. I did. To people who didn't believe this for the last, I don't know, 6 months that I've been saying this is going to happen, maybe even longer, that we're going to see another broad shift in the online sphere to the right. And that it's going to result in us being in a community or in a political space online that resembles Gamergate a lot more than people were really willing to realize we're going to go back to. A lot of people got comfy thinking it was just an old memory and we would never go back to the internet being that way and the right having so much dominance online. And they thought that was over. That'll never happen again. But sure enough, it's back. It's happening again. Let me go ahead and explain why I think what I'm about to show you is evidence of that. Who, right now, would you say are the 3 most politically influential human beings alive in the world right now? Frankly, I would probably pin those labels onto Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and, obviously, Joe Biden. Without a doubt. Elon Musk has the wealth that Joe Rogan doesn't have. And I think Elon Musk might be even more broadly known than Joe Rogan. Because, to be fair, getting Elon Musk, for Joe Rogan, getting Elon Musk on his show was a big deal. That was a big get. So, Elon Musk is a tiers above Joe Rogan insofar as fame, power, and wealth. I would put Elon Musk right now as one of the 3 most politically influential people in the world. At least in America. At least in America. Whew. He also just bought Twitter, and he does plan to, maybe implement some of his more personal philosophies about politics into his policy, and we'll get into that in a moment. But first, let's look at this meme he posted today. This went up today at 10 a.m., and it has nearly 1 million likes. Nearly 1 million likes after less than 12 hours, just to give you an idea on how many soy claps this post got. Year 2008, conservative. They'd be on the right. And then there's the center. And then here's Elon Musk back in 2008. And then my fellow liberal right here on the left. So he's center left, or more moderate left, right, is what he claims back in 2008. By the way, I should mention 2008, back when gay people weren't federally allowed to get married here in America. Weed, certainly far from being legalized, peak of, not the peak, but certainly close to the peak of our freedoms being eroded by the things our government did following 9/11 and the Iraq War. We're not gonna go into that. Okay. Anyway, then 2012 comes around. For those of you guys that don't remember, 2012 was the very beginning of the Tumblr era, I guess. And so it's my fellow liberal and the fellow liberal is, but Elon Musk, he stays still. But now the left is making the line of what it is to be the left so much further. And now the woke progressive is all the way over here. And now he's moved to the right. And the right conservative says, lol. I like the implication that Elon Musk has changed his views, though. Because look, in 2008, he started right here. But he's actually moving his positions. Yeah, you can see here that he's actually moved his positions here. So I guess he's admitting that. Anyway, very stupid meme. Very, very stupid meme. It is an absolute joke of a political comic, I guess. There's really there's nothing here to say about it other than this is embarrassing. This is something that a 14-year-old would make. This is indicative of how little Elon Musk knows about politics and how he's really just living in this sort of juvenile 14-year-old edgelord sort of like fantasy, like online fantasy or something. It is very funny to me. It genuinely is very funny to me. Regardless, it's actually more scary than funny, considering the fact that he owns Twitter. But, you know, we cope with it, okay? We cope with the nightmare, all right? Hopefully the changes he makes just makes Twitter more fun. So, we gotta talk about something here. Elon Musk's ex starts dating a trans woman. 4 weeks later, Musk is buying Twitter and planning to roll back their policies prohibiting hate speech against trans people. And we're supposed to pretend this is about free speech and not this guy's ego. Listen, guys, can I tell you all something? Do you all remember the inciting event of Gamergate? Do you remember how Gamergate started? Gamergate started when a fairly prominent dude in the gaming community outed their, at the time, girlfriend and accused them of being a horrible, lying, cheating bitch and yada, yada, yada. And all of that basically spurned out this sort of genuine and mutual hatred for women that was sort of in a lot of people. And that's sort of what kind of started it for some people. And then for others, it was the ethics and gaming journalism aspect of it. And then for others, it was like the fact that like BuzzFeed and shit like that were putting out crazy videos. And there were these random college students having breakdowns in public that were fun to make fun of. It was different things for a lot of people. But for a lot of people, a lot of people, it was a mutual hatred of women. And this sort of one example of a prominent woman who like was known in the community, well, at the time was a woman, but I'm pretty sure that the person who was exposed at the time is now non-binary or identifies as non-binary. So just to be clear, at the time, that was the perspective and is still now the perspective of many of these people. But to be clear, that's just how people saw it back then. Yeah, regardless, I think for a lot of people, that is what it was. Like, it was like, okay, we've got this one individual person who represents this stereotype of women that we have in our head, that we've made the explanation for why we've got issues when it comes to, like, relationships, sex, and women. And now we're going to sort of vent out our frustrations through that sort of big conglomeration of people coming together to shit on one single person or a group of people, right? And that's how it started. And I'm curious if Elon Musk, with his ex-wife Grimes, is going to turn this into like a Gamergate 2 inciting scenario. I'm really curious. If the whole like Elon Musk versus Chelsea Manning and Grimes thing could really result in such a cultural split that it would be comparable to Gamergate. I mean, it should be, right? The community that Elon Musk has that worships him is so much larger than the community that the gaming journalists had during the Gamergate era. And that's what started Gamergate. I mean, we should expect the outcome of this to be way bigger than Gamergate, quite frankly. If we're just looking at the signs, like if we do expect this to be like an inciting scenario similar to what happened with Zoe Quinn and Alec Kowalka, I think his name was. If we want to compare that to this, like in terms of how many people are invested, how culturally and politically divisive it would be, like we should expect the outcome of this to be magnitudes larger than Gamergate. Magnitudes upon magnitudes larger than Gamergate. Which actually would be in line. I mean, right now, I would say that the anti-trans legislation's the most, vitriolic it's ever been. Literal, like, runner-up Tennessee GOP representative who almost got elected was literally advocating to bring back the gas chamber for the death penalty. Like, the gas chamber is the main and only way for doing the, like, killing off prisoners for the death penalty. And he wanted to add teaching children, he wanted to add grooming as a thing that would be killable by the death penalty. And he also added the little tidbit that he includes teaching children about LGBT stuff to be grooming. So what he said was he wants to gas anybody who teaches children about gay people. and he almost won. Yeah, and then obviously we have the don't say gay bills and everything. Yeah. Elongate? Yeah, it could actually be Elongate. It would probably be Grimesgate, though, because it would be Elon Musk's fans that would start it. So it'd be like Grimesgate. Something like that. I don't know. Regardless, listen, I become more and more confident every day about my predictions that we are backsliding. Not really backsliding, but that we're coming back around into another age of the online right being prominent online. And what do I say that we do about that? I say that we just get better at arguing, really. Just get better at arguing, get better at, like, making fun of their memes, get better at, like, culturally dominating them. That's all I can really do. Eventually, when the right holds power long enough, it becomes evident how horrible they are. It is impossible for them to fool everybody for that long. They always lose power for a while. Things always get at least a bit better eventually, as long as we don't give up. Yeah, how's it gotta feel to be trans and know that, like, the most politically influential person in the world, who is probably Trump, hates trans people. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, hates trans people. And he is also probably the most loved man in the world. Elon Musk is both the richest and most loved man in the world, without a doubt. I don't think there's anyone else in the world more loved than Elon Musk, just simply by how many people worship him. He is literally the tech daddy. Everybody in the tech field worships him. Everybody who pretends like they're in the tech field worships him. It really is, like, gotta be depressing. It's like they say that cream floats to the top, but shit floats too. This has happened before. Okay, if you're worried about this, just know this has happened before. And what we need to remember is what caused this. Okay, what, like, really changed between when it seemed like the online left was sort of, like, popping off during, like, the bread tube era, so to say, and nowadays. What changed, do you think? Well, Scold's close enough. I feel like so many more of the figures that are getting prominent in the online left right now are, like, these kind of woke Scoldy Tumblrite lefties. And at the same time, it feels like their audiences are, like, in the age demographic of people that weren't around, like, or politically active during, like, Gamergate, or during the time when it was really shit to be on the online left at that time. And I think back, and it's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. Like, there's a reason why the right was dominant for so long. I was watching... I don't watch very many Vosh videos, if I'm being honest with you, but I watched a Vosh video before stream today, and it was him responding to a Ben Shapiro video, and oh my god, was that Ben Shapiro video just so shamelessly edited. Ben Shapiro very clearly has started targeting his videos more towards a younger demographic. His edits in his videos have gotten way more Zoomer bait. I could notice that Vosh's chat was laughing their asses off at a lot of the edits, which should go to show exactly what effect he's going for is working. And it just shows to me, oh my god, they really are kicking it full gear in 2022. I genuinely do think we're heading in that direction. Now, here is the good news. Or should I say the potential good news?
Welcome to capitalism.
It doesn't have to be bad. The reason why it sucked to be part of the online left back in 20... or not even 20... yeah, like 20... we'll say 2014, 2015, 2016. The reason why it sucked to be a left-wing YouTuber back then was because there wasn't really an audience, there wasn't really a community, there wasn't really a big lineup of YouTubers and content creators that were there to watch and to, like, have a community of people you agreed with. It was like, if you dare ever express a left-wing opinion online, you get dogpiled by a bunch of Trump supporters. That would be how it would go back then, right? So as long as you don't just give up, go full doomer, and go into political hibernation for like the next 2 years because the left isn't doing very well online right now, then things are going to go well. In fact, you should see this right now as an opportunity, like I do. Whenever the right is doing better online, it means there is constantly more content to cover. I was getting really bored for a while when the left was like doing well. I was like, there were just like, it seemed like every one of these YouTube channels that were on the right were dying out, or they were getting banned, or they were like quitting YouTube because their channels weren't profitable anymore. There were just like a handful of these big, large figures that managed to stick it out during the rise of BreadTube. But besides that, it didn't really feel like there was going to be much material left in the future. No bullshit, quit YouTube. He's not really making content anymore. Like, I was worried that, like, there wouldn't be anything to cover for me anymore. Like, I'd just not have anything to cover somehow. And I'd have to, like, fully move my content over to, like, drama and, like, just non-political stuff, because there'd be nothing to respond to, I guess. But, like, I have to admit, there being more right-wing content to cover does mean more stuff for me to respond to. More content for me, more content for you. And more content for you doesn't just mean entertainment. It also means you get to learn. You get to have your ideas not only challenged, but informed and upgraded and refined, so that when you debate, when you get into arguments, when you are trying to convince your friends to vote the right choice in the next election, you will hopefully be better at convincing people to do that. That's my hope. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video or this segment, please consider leaving a like. It helps out more than you even realize, and I really do appreciate it. You can also support me financially by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, supporting me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, or Stream Elements, or Patreon. And you can also support me by following my social media, link down below. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you all next time.